Good Monday morning, everybody. We are up here back to work on Saturday. I was up here and I was going to work a full day and I ended up with some problems. All I was able to get out is one hitch. I actually was coming down the trail with my second hitch and my tire fell right off the cart. And so I will show you about that and how we got it fixed. And now that we're back up here again, I'll explain a few things. And then also, before I broke my tire, I had cut a tree down and I hung it up. Pretty bad too, pretty bad hang up. So we need to deal with that this morning also. So anyways, since I had to go home with the cart on Saturday, I ended up putting both the horses in the front of the trailer, which is fine, and I put the cart in the back. But this morning it's about 52 degrees, I think it is, and being that they were in the front of the trailer again, it's a lot smaller area and the temperature is fairly warm. The blankets on them actually made them hot and a little bit sweaty. You can see Lady has a little bit of sweat here, and Bill saw a little bit of steam coming off him just as I took the blanket off. It's difficult this time of year to judge how often you need to use the blankets. My trailer isn't closed up really that tight yet, so it's just a kind of a fine line as to whether you use the blankets, whether or not to. Going home, especially if it's warmer, it's hard to know whether or not I should use the blankets. But sometimes, or I feel it's a little bit better having them a little bit too warm than too cold. So those are things I have to deal with. Okay, so I want to get my cart situated and get ready to go and see if we can't pull that tree down after we get that hitch out of there. And but first, let's go back to Saturday and the troubles we had with my cart. As you can see, I'm in a bit of a pickle. Coming down off this hill and the tire fell right off. There's the wheel and tire bent up a little bit. So I've got to unhitch. I thought I could lift it, but I got to unhitch these chains, lift this car up with my skid steer and see what we're dealing with. Okay, this is what we're dealing with. Hey, sure. I miss having my GoPro here instead of this phone. I can't set it down to really show what's going on. But anyways, this bearing is completely shot, of course, and it might be hard to get off there. So I'm not sure what happened. I did find the nut and the washer here, but why did that come off? Did it just come loose? I don't know. I'm going to see if maybe don't know, that's going to take a little work. So anyways, I'm going to attempt to get my wheel back on and unhitch this hitch completely and see if I can't baby it down to the landing. So I got the wheel on the axle, and of course the outer bearing is gone, and I look over here and there it is. Okay, here's the other one, of course all smashed. So I'm going to try and get this piece of it on and maybe I can get it down to the landing. So I was able to get the nut on enough to get down to the landing, and I loaded the horses up and put the cart in the back, and here we are back at the farm. Breakdowns.
So what happened?
Just the nut came off the axle and the wheel fell off. And I gotta replace the bearings.
In case you didn't hear that, he said the nut fell off the axle and he has to replace the wheel bearings. And these guys had to ride side by side.
In my trailer, the ceiling's not high enough, so when I have to back a horse out like this, I have to unhitch the hames and throw them off the collars before I do.
Looks like that almost fell off. Where do you think you're going? Hey. Hope you're just going to get a drink. Brother. Did you just think that was great because you weren't hitched yet? Come here, Billy Bone Baggy.
Okay, I got the old bearing off my axle, and it turned out I actually had some bearings here, and so I'm pretty sure they're the right ones. So I'm going to put these on and see if we can't get this working again. Mechanical stuff is not what I enjoy doing, and I'm sure you can and will find plenty of things I'm doing wrong. I just normally would hire this done if at all possible. But I'm going to put some grease on this, and then we will get this jacked up. I would got to double check, make sure this is the right one for this side. This one is a national bearings for this big one. This one's a Timken bearing. So I'm just hoping it's the right one, and I think it is. Seems to slide in place right, so hopefully. Hopefully that's the right one. So let me get it jacked up a little higher, and we'll get the tire on, and then we'll deal with this problem with the nut, because there is supposed to be a hole through here, and there is not. And this nut I have is a very, thin nut. I'm wondering if maybe there was another nut and it was double nutted, but this was actually tack welded to the axle. So, in my opinion, That's obviously not the best way to go, but it has worked for a long time now. But if I could possibly be almost a lot better if I could get a hole through this axle so that I could put a pin in there to keep that nut from backing off. So I might try that.
So I got the cart fixed, and I'm back up here again this morning, trying to get back to work, coming out with the hitch that I broke down on. And I did drill a hole in the axle to put a pin in behind the nut, but I just didn't have enough room, so I ended up having to tack weld it to the axle again. It worked for a long time before, so I guess it'll work for a while now, but sometime I'm going to have to do a better fix on that.
Today, I'm glad that Andy, my friend from down the road, is coming up to work on the farm a little bit. He's got some odds and ends to do there. He's got time, so he's going to do it, and he's actually going to plow. I think he's going to plow a little bit with the blacks today. So maybe Brenda can show you a little bit of that.
Hey everybody, I'm out in the field. Jim's gone down to Paul Smith's. He is busy logging down there. But Andy is out here in the field. He has Buck and Ken. He got them harnessed up and they are plowing away. I asked him if he minded if I came out and videoed him from the back, and he said no, he didn't. And I asked him the other day how he liked the plow, and he said he really is getting used to it and likes it. He hadn't used this kind before, so I'll just get some shots of him from the back.
Got that. Move. Okay, like I said, this is a Monday morning, and so we had some rain yesterday and some wind, and I thought maybe that would take this tree down that's hung up. As you see, we have a pretty good pine tree and another pine tree. So what I did on Saturday before I broke down is I made a trail through here so that I could get the team up into here. And I have another tree up here to get out anyway, so I need to get up here. So here is a tree that was leaning heavy to our right. And I had made my notch, so it's actually farther over to the left, thinking and hoping it would easily go. But when I snipped it off, it went right down into that tree. Now, the tree that's cut is on the complete left-hand side of the other tree, so I'm hoping with a rolling hitch, maybe, just maybe, I can roll this tree out of that tree. If I can't, I'm going to have to do something else, of course, but we're going to give it a try. So here's the tree, and up through there is where I'm going with the horses, and I'm hoping even just a good half roll on that tree will allow it to fall down. So I'll set the camera and see what happens. Hey, hey. Catch that. Well, we got a ways, and it pulled easy enough, but the horses ran out of places to go. We got trees in front of them. So now all I'm going to do is cut a couple little balsams up there so they can go farther, and they should be able to pull it down. That top could break at any second. So this is not the place to be standing. So let me get out of here, and I'll come over here and cut a few little balsams so that the horses can go a little bit farther, and I think they can pull it out. Here's a big old pine tree that they waited too long to harvest. This is such a shame to see, but unfortunately this happens on a lot of woodlots, and so often there's just nothing you can do about it. But it is still such a shame to see a nice big tree that fell over without being harvested. So real quick, snip these trees and pull this down. So here's an interesting predicament that you probably have never thought about, but sometimes when I do what I'm doing, like right today, I've cut a little trail in here to pull this tree down. Okay, so hopefully we can ask them to go and they'll pull it down now because they've got room enough here. But what happens when I pull it down? My horses are kind of stuck in here, and how do I get them out of here? And that's a great question. That does happen sometimes. So what I need to do, or will have to do, is actually cut a whole nother trail to get back to the trail, which won't be a big deal here. And as a matter of fact, I even have a tree right here that I cut down the other day that I was going to go out a particular way. And because I'm right here now, I may change my plan and actually hitch onto that tree and pull it out through this trail here. We'll see. It's always a challenge. It's always fun to try to figure out how to get some of these trees out of here. But for right now, that's not my problem. My problem is getting this tree down on the ground, and we're gonna set the camera up and hopefully give it a good tug and it'll pop to the ground. Here's another thought here I want to explain while we're here, a learning moment, I guess you could say. Hey lady. Oh. Lady I know is kind of anxious and wanting to get going, so if I keep my hand on her, she'll stay actually better. So here's the situation. When I'm pulling a tree down, which I have to do quite often, sometimes I can't get back to the tree, so I have to put a really long chain on it. But the longer the chain, the farther I am from that tree, the harder it's going to pull. The closer I am to the tree, the easier it's going to pull. Now, what happens sometimes is when it falls and lets go, it will actually shoot ahead. Now, as long as I have a straight trail ahead of me, and if I'm tight to that, but I'm not too concerned because what it can and will do is actually hit the cart and push the horses ahead. But it's really not as bad of a risk as you would think, as long as they have a place to go. If they can't run with the tree, then of course they're gonna run into another tree ahead of them, and that could be bad. But if they've got a straight trail ahead of them, they're pretty fast, and they can actually, when they get going, they will roll right out of here. And so yeah, it should be fine. So a situation like this, sometimes I ride the cart, but more often than not I don't. And here's a situation where I definitely won't. Sometimes I use the line, sometimes I just use voice. I think right here I'm okay to just use voice and be in a spot where I can get out of the way really quick. And that's what you always have to do when you're cutting a tree or dealing with something like this. You need an escape route, and I think I have one right here. So I'm gonna set the camera up and be ready to run. Catch that. Well, there we have it. Tree went down. We'll go inspect that. The horses did super. They just ran right up the trail that I made for them, so they'll stay in there perfectly fine while I limb this up and figure out how to get out of here, which won't be a problem. But just a quick peek at the top here, and we want to look up and see how much, if anything, is still stuck in that top. I mean, in that tree. And basically, top did not break, which I thought it might. It's all intact, but there are some branches up top, so I've got to stay away from that as much as possible. And what I'll probably do is hitch onto the top before I even completely limb it and drag it out with the limbs on, and then I will limb it when I'm out farther and in a safe place. Okay, so I got the tree all limbed up. I cut a 16-foot log right here, and now we're just going to do a little bushwhacking and hopefully get our way through that trash with this short, or with this 16-foot log. It's not very big, so it won't pull hard, and we'll see if we can't bushwhack our way through. Oh. Oh, ang tapos Petit. Ja. Very careful. Be careful. Careful. Be careful. Gee. Tap that. Tap that. Oh, whoops. Forgot about that. Well, that stinks. So this is a trail I'd skidded out a tree earlier, but I had forgot. Since then I dropped a tree across this little trail, so I could grab the chainsaw and cut that all up, or maybe I can go right through here. Let's see. It's amazing what and where horses can go and how small of an area they can go in. So if we come right down through here, and we're on this trail here, I think I can spin and go that way. It's a little rough. Quite a lot of trash still in the way. We'll get some of this out, but I think we can come through all right. Slow and easy is the key in this situation. Got this top of a tree right here. There we go. We'll get that out of our way. Sorry about the rough camera work. My camera girl's not here, of course. Now I'm in another situation. I'm too far ahead. I'm going to have to unhitch. Because I can't turn because the horses in the cart's going to hit that tree right there. So I'm going to have to go up there, back up here, twist in there, back in here. But we can do it. Careful step. Careful step. Careful. Jeep. 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 Oh. Huh? Oh. 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 Yep. Got a tree between lady's legs. Oh, there we go. Oh. No. Yep. Hip. Left ya. Ha. Left ya. Left ya. Ha. Ha. Yep. Ha. 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 Oop, ha. Oh. Oop, ha. 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 Careful, ha. Oh. I'm going to show you what, now this little balsam right here is really good for nothing. I could and should cut it down, but I don't have my saw right here. Careful, oh, oh. So because of it, what I'm going to do is sneak through there, and I'm going to show you the value of this bumper right here on my cart. Without that little tree would get caught right between the wheel and the cart, but since I have that bumper, it will not. Careful, ha, 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 careful, ha, 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 hoop, ha, ha, hoop, ha, careful, careful. Oh, ha. Oh, I don't know if you saw that. I'm sure my camera was so shaky that was difficult, but in the comments below, why don't you tell everybody that can tell Brenda how much they miss her on this video because of the poor work that I'm doing on the camera. It's just a good encouragement for her so she keeps on filming, right? And don't get me wrong, she loves it and she has no intentions of not filming, but it just helps give her a little bit of encouragement. Careful step. Feel it. See? Oh. Hey. Hey. Just a little bit. Careful. Hey. Hey. I got the tree right there, which is good for nothing, but I gotta get around it just the same. Careful. G. Careful. G. Oh. No. So I'm going to get off because it's going to swing that a little bit. And like I said, I don't have my saw. That's why I can't cut it. Just a little bit. Oh! Once again, the beauty of being able to let the horses go on their own. I can stay out of harm's way. Hey, hey. Careful step. Careful. Oh. So here we are back at the top end of that same tree, and I will be able to clean this out so I can back right in here and hitch on that and pull that whole rest of that tree out from the top end, and that should be just fine. So there you have it, a successful takedown of a tree that was giving me some troubles. Anyways, you have a great day, guys. We'll see you next time.